Hey, TTGW family. Welcome back to another word study video. So today I'm going to go over the template first. So the beginning of the template is number one, of course, the English word. So here on this part, you will write the word that you will be doing the word study on. Then number two is your English definition. You can use the Google Dictionary if you have a dictionary at home, or even a dictionary app on your phone. Here you will also write any synonyms and antonyms, at least list one or two, maybe even three of each. Then number 3 and 4, as you can see here, it says these go together. And the reason why they go together, because on number 3, you're just looking up, you can use the Blue Letter Bible app. You can use your concordance and kind of look at the strong numbers that if you're using the concordance on the strong numbers in the Old Testament and then the numbers in your New Testament to see if you can find some that are different, and then you can list the words here because of course you know that anything that's in the Old Testament it's Hebrew, anything that's in the New Testament is Greek, and then there's Aramaic words in the mix of everything. And this just gives you the comparison of different translations. You can have the same word in the Old Testament and the New Testament, but they mean completely different things, if that makes sense. And then number 4 here is your original word and short definition. So this is where you'll get your definitions of the Hebrew, Greek, or Aramaic word that you have got in number 3. So now you're going to define them. Okay, so the next section is number 5 and 6, which is the occurrences in the Bible. And at this point, you're going to ask yourself 6 questions. How often does it occur in the Bible? In which books is it found? Which book is it used most? Where does the word first appear? Where does it appear first in the book you are studying? Which writers used the word? And here you will also list passages it is found in. And I find it easier to use the concordance book, the Strong Concordance book, because it lists all the verses already in there. But you can also use Blue Letter Bible app that way also. Number 6 is the root meaning and the origin. You can use the Google Dictionary, and I will show you guys when you scroll down, once you define the word, it'll give you the root meaning and the origin of the word. At the end of the word study, you're going to look at the biblical usage, which is how was it used in the Bible. Now this, you guys, I use definitely with Blue Letter Bible app. I find it very easy because it actually says biblical usage and it gives you the breakdown. And then number 8 is the application evaluation. Can I apply this word study to my relationship with God, in my life, in my relationship? Oops, sorry guys. There's a misspell here. In my relationship with others, in my church, ministry, work, school, etc. All right, so that is the complete word study, you guys. This is what it looks like. Again, there's different ways that you can format it. You can do it like a mind map kind of thing. You can draw separate boxes, bubbles, whatever it is that your creativity sends you. But as long as you answer all the steps, goes one by one, definitely you can get the same result. Hey. Okay, so now I want to share with you guys before we get started the things that you will be using. So you can definitely use a sheet of paper, or you can use white printer paper. It's totally up to you. On the white printer paper, you don't have the lines there to write, but it's totally up to you depending on how creative you want to get. We're going to use the paper here. And the things that you guys know that I like to use, of course, is the Biblical Cyclopedic Index. I also like to use the Strong Concordance. And then, of course, Blue Letter Bible. And I will show you guys that in a minute once we get to that part. So like we just saw, you guys, and this is my copy that's out of my binder. Number 1 is the English word. So today we're going to be doing blessed. So you can write it this way, up and down, or you can definitely get creative and draw some bubbles and things. Let me grab my word study notebook so that you guys can see. As I've showed you guys before, you can definitely do it up and down, or you can do it, if you're going to do it in a notebook, you can draw boxes, circles, whatever works for you, you guys. There's no, this one was when I did Esther. This was when I did spoil. So there is no right or wrong way to do it. You can do it in a notebook. You can definitely just write it on paper. This year I wanted to do everything on paper so I can put it into a binder. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Sorry guys if the camera is moving. So number one, and of course you're going to put the date. So you're going to put 1/11/19. And then number 1 is blessed. I hope you guys can see that, okay? Then number 2 is the English definition. So you can make a space, put number 2, and then we're going to jump over to the computer so you guys can see how I use Google, the Google dictionary, to get the rest of this information. Okay, so as you can see here, this is Google. And to get to the Google dictionary, what I normally do is I just type in blessed definition. And as you can see here, it automatically comes up for you. So here's the word blessed. It gives you the adjective, made holy, consecrated, used in mild expression of annoyance. It gives you some synonyms here. It also gives you the noun, those who live with God in heaven. If you click down, it gives you some more stuff. It has your antonyms here. So you don't have to go use respectively in reference to a dead person endowed with divine favor and protection, bringing pleasure or relief as a welcome contrast to what one has previously experienced. Informal, used in a mild expression of annoyance. And then here it has those who live with God in heaven. Then you have bless, which is the verb. And it'll give you some information on that. But you guys keep in mind this part right here. This goes with number 6. This is the part I was talking about that's on the Google Dictionary that we will come back to, that you guys will see more in depth. So for the definition for blessed, we can put made holy, consecrated. You can put used respectively for in reference to a dead person endowed with divine favor and protection. You can use any of these, those who live with God in heaven. So I will probably just use made holy or consecrated, and I will use these synonyms and antonyms since, of course, we're using this study for Bible study. So then all you do is you're going to write this on your paper. That's next. Voila. So there you go. You have number 2, just what we saw on the computer. You have made holy, consecrated, endowed with divine favor and protection. Then you'll list your synonyms and antonyms that you saw also online. You have holy, sacred, fortunate, privileged. Your antonyms, cursed, wretched. And that's the second part. Now, going to the next part, number 3. Remember, 3 and 4 are pretty much the same thing. So you're going to look in your Strong Concordance to see if you can get some Hebrew, Greek, or an Aramaic word. And then for number 4 is actually defining those words. So I'm going to show you 2 ways. The first way is going to be using the strong concordance. All right, so here is our strong concordance. And you guys remember, the first row is the letters A through Z. Then you have your appendix, and then you have your Hebrew and Greek definitions in the back. So the first thing on how to use your strong concordance, if you have one, you're going to look up in the index, you're going to look up the word blessed. So now be mindful that you'll have blessed, blessed, then you have blessed, blesseth, blessedness, blessing. So make sure you're looking up the exact word that you're trying to define. So we're looking for blessed. And when I say look at the different Old Testament, New Testament, because as you can see, they list every verse in the Bible that uses it, and it's in order. So all of this is the Old Testament. As you can see, most of it is 1288 for the Strong's number. So when looking at the concordance, you'll have the word, you have a piece of the verse, you have the verse that it comes from, and then you have the Strong's number. So you gotta, so that way you know what you're looking at. So if you keep going, here's where you start to get into, you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, so then here's your New Testament. And as you can see here in your New Testament, you have 3107, 2127, but the main one that is used here, you can see, is 3107 and 2127. So you have a choice. You can either define both, or you can just choose one of the ones that's used the most. So we'll probably use 3107. And then over here in the Old Testament, we'll use 1288. So you can definitely grab a little sticky and put that on, or go ahead and grab your pen and your paper. Oops, sorry guys. So we're going to write number 3. And the first number we're going to do is 1288. And then the second number we're going to use, so that I can zoom in for you, it's going to be 3107. So then you're going to write that right here, 3107. So the next thing to do, you guys, is to go to the back. So again, remember, it goes all the way to Z. So you have V, Z, then your appendix. So remember, it's the index, A through Z, then your appendix. After the appendix, you have your Hebrew dictionary. And you know it's Hebrew because at the top it has Hebrew. And then if you continue, then you'll have Greek. So remember, anything that's in the Old Testament, it is Hebrew, original language, and the New Testament is Greek. So our first number is 1288. And how do you use the dictionary is the small numbers, as you can see here, is your strong numbers. So this is 143. So you want to keep flipping until you get to 1288. So right here. And you see the name, it says Barak. And it's a primitive root to kneel, by implication to bless God as an act of adoration, and vice versa. Man as a benefit, also by eupheme, I may not be saying that right, to curse God or the king, or treason. And then as you continue to go down, it just breaks down the word. So you want to stay at the verse at the top. So to bless God as an act of adoration, vice versa. So then you can use that. And then the next one, and let me grab a sheet here to mark our spot. And the next one in the Greek was 3107. So let's see. And it's the same thing in the Greek. You continue to look at the small numbers until you find what you're looking for. And we're looking for 3107. And that's right here. See if I can turn this over a little bit. Sorry for the camera moving so much. So you have Makery. And on Blue Letter Bible, I'll show you guys how to listen to the pronunciation. So it means the same. So it's a form of the poet, supremely blessed, by extension, fortunate, well off, blessed, and happy. So that is the two that you're going to be using. You're going to be using those same definitions. So the first thing we want is just the word for number 3. So you're going to grab your piece of paper and you're going to write Makarizo, just like that. And then remember your other one was Barak, and that was 1288. And that's B-A, and it has the little like upside down V on top of it, R-A-K. Just like that. And that's all you do for number 3. So then you can write another hyphen and put Hebrew, Greek. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to do it on Blue Letter Bible. All right. So to get to Blue Letter Bible app, you're going to go to www.blueletterbible.org. You can definitely download the app on your phone. And to do your word studies, you're going to use those same strong numbers that you found. And if you didn't find your strong numbers, you can type the word. So we're going to put the word blessed. Enter. And here you have all the verses again that list all the time that blessed is used. So here we're in the Old Testament. You can definitely just hit the tools button, go to interlinear. And when you scroll down, here you have the Strong's number, H1288. That's exactly what we got in the Strong's Concordance. Here is where you can listen to what it sounds like. So let's go ahead and listen to it. Barach. So that's what it sounds like. Barach. So it's not Barak. I said Barak, but it's Barak. So that is 1288. And to get the definition, you'll click 1288. Again, it gives you the background, the part of speech. And if you go down, this is what I was talking about for number 7, the biblical usage. I write this exactly how it is. For the Strong's definition, you have right here, by implication, to bless God as an act of adoration and vice versa, man as a benefit. So it's the exact same thing we just saw in the concordance. So this is kind of how you can check to see to make sure that you got the right information. So then you can go back and you're going to scroll down till you get to in the New Testament. Oh, sorry guys, go back one more time. So here's where it gives you all the list. And here you can see in the King James Version, it occurs 302 times in 287 verses. So it doesn't match because sometimes it's multiple times in one verse. So that's something that you can also use if you don't have a strong concordance book. So now we're going to scroll down till we get to the New Testament so that a way we can let's see, let's go to page 5 when it starts to go into the New Testament. So we can get a number, a Strong's number in the New Testament. So you can just click anything that's in the New Testament, go to Tools, Interlinear. And here you can see it opens it up, breaks down the verse. So once again, you have G3107. You have the word. You can hit the megaphone so that you can hear what it sounds like. Macarias. Macarias. See? So definitely it helps you learn how to pronounce these words. Then you click the Strong's number, and once again, you get all the information about it. You scroll down. Here you have your biblical usage. Then you also have the Strong's definition, form of a poetical, meaning the same, supremely blessed, by extension, fortunate, well off, blessed, and happy. And that's it. So now we're going to go back to our paper so that we can go ahead and write out our definitions. All right. So as you can see here, number 4, we have the definitions written out. So you have to kneel, to bless God as an act of adoration. Then you have supremely blessed, fortunate, well off, and happy. So the next step is number 5. And it's the occurrences in the Bible. So here you're going to ask those 6 questions that I had mentioned. How often does it occur in the Bible? In which books is it found? Which book is it used most? Where does the word first appear? Where does it appear first in the book I'm studying? And which writers used the word? And then you can also list passages that is found in. So now, with that being the case, the first part is how often does it occur in the Bible? So we're going to move that out the way. And this is where it gets fun, you guys. If you have the Strong Concordance book. So we're going to go back to the word blessed. All right, let's see. Blessed, 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 blessed. Here we go. Blessed. So what you're going to do here, blessed, you're going to count every one of these verses here. And you guys, literally, that's what I do. I sit and I will count all of them. So we can get started here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, the thing is here, if you look on the side, some of them, the verses the word is in the same verse twice. So then you don't have to count it twice. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 24, 280, 281, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87. So it is 287 times the word blessed is used in the King James Version. You guys know that I try to keep everything that I purchase in a certain, and I don't think the strong, yeah. So all my study material is King James Version. So that way, when you're doing things that they all match up together, it's okay to have different translations, but be mindful that each translation may be a little bit different, the amount of times things are used. So if you use the same translation for your studies, or at least your strong concordance and your study Bible, at least one of them, so that a way they can coordinate together. So you have 287 times. Okay. So then you go back and you get your paper, and number 5. So you put number 5, and you're going to say blessed is used 287 times in the King James Version. And this, so that way you know if you go back to it and you're using a different translation, you'll know what it was used where, which translation I mean. So then it says, in which books is it found? So again, you're going to go back to your concordance. And this is where you'll look at all the books of the Bible that is listed here. So pretty much for the majority of the word studies that I do, I use the strong concordance quite a bit. So here it gives you Genesis. Let me scroll in for you. You have Genesis, continued. You have Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st, 2nd King, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Israel, Nehemiah, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Songs, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Zechariah, Malachi. Then you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, 1 Titus, or 1 Timothy, I'm sorry, Titus, Hebrew, James, 1 Peter, Revelation. You can see all the way up here, Revelation. So that is what you write in on your paper. Voila. So here you list all the books of the Bible that it is in. It can be found in the following books: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, so on and so forth. Now, when we get to this part, a lot of people feel like it's a lot of writing. So you definitely don't have to do this. If you want to pick certain questions you want to answer in part 5, you can definitely do that. But this is how I do every study. I answer every question unless I just absolutely can't find it. So the next part is, which book is it used the most? So that's pretty easy. Again, you go back to your strong concordance, and you can kind of eyeball it at times to see which one has the most. So of course there wasn't that many. So it's definitely between Psalms and Genesis. So what I do is I count how many it is. And I don't count the ones that are duplicates. So I only count it once. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Or actually 44, because that's twice. So you have 44. So I normally just mark it here. You guys, I write in all my study materials, so don't be mindful of that. So then you have Psalms here, and maybe Psalm doesn't have as much. So maybe Genesis, it's used the most. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. So 48 times. So it actually just only 4 over. So then we'll know that it's used most in Psalms. So then you go back to your paper and you're going to write, and I hope you guys can see that. Let me zoom in for you. It is also used most in the book of Psalms. And then you can put 48 times. Just like that. So I hope you guys can see that. Sorry, you guys, I write sideways. So far that is what it looks like, you guys. You have the word, the definition, the English definition. Then you have the Hebrew and Greek word. You have their definition, and now you're starting to break down the usage. So the next part is, where does the word first appear? So again, you're going to go back to your Strong Concordance, or even if you're using the Blue Letter Bible app, the first verse that pops up is what the verse is going to be. So here you'll see it is first used in Genesis chapter 1, verse 22. The first time the word blessed is used. So then that's what you're going to write next. The first time it is used is in Genesis chapter 1, verse 22. Just like that. And I underline it because at the end is when I do my color coding or anything like that. So the next part is, where does it appear first in the book that you're studying? And so we are studying Genesis right now, you guys. So I can put Genesis, and then I can also put Luke because we're studying Luke. So the first time it is used, it is in Genesis chapter 1. And we can put and. And if you go to Luke, let me see if I can move this over for you guys. You have Luke chapter 1, verse 28. So you put the first time it is used is in Genesis chapter 1, verse 22. And it is also used first in Luke chapter 1, verse 28, which these are both books I'm currently studying. Just like that. And you guys, in your comments, let me know, you guys. I know this is time consuming, and it really doesn't take that long. If you're not interrupted and you just have some quiet time, it can take maybe about 30 minutes to 45 minutes to complete an entire book, and it just depends on how fast you're moving. So here you have the next one. Which writers is it used or used the word? Now for this, you guys know that I use my Rainbow Study Bible for, which is this one. And again, this is also the King James Version. So I try to keep all my study material the same. I do have a few study Bibles that are different. We have the New Living Translation and the CSB translation, Women's Study Bible. But I try to keep the ones that I use as key study resources in the same translation. So what I do, or what you can do, is you're going to, all the books that you listed here, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, so on and so forth, that is who you're going to list here at the bottom. Now you can definitely just choose a few, so that way, you're not writing an entire lot, but you'll kind of get the idea of what's going on. And I like using the Rainbow Study Bible because at the beginning of each book, it gives you a little bit of an overview, but it gives you the author automatically, just in case you don't know who wrote them off the top of your head. You can definitely Google it, but don't feel like you have to know every person that wrote each book of the Bible. So you can just list some. So you can put some authors that used this word was, and you could put Moses, because Moses wrote the first 5 books. You have Moses, you have Joshua, and you can just pick out. You have Luke, you have Peter, you have Daniel, you have Job, you have David, and that's it. You don't have to list everybody unless you absolutely want to, but again, I use my King James Version Rainbow Study Bible, and I use this study Bible because it also gives you what each verse represents. So like this is blue, so it represents salvation. It has it at the bottom. So it's color coded already. I know some people, when they're studying the Bible, they like to color code according to what the verse represents. And instead of, I don't like that it's, because it's large chunks at times. So I just like to have this as a reference so that I don't have to, in my notes that I write on paper, I just make a note of that. And also I found that the same references that are scripture references that are in here is same as my keyword study Bible. So that works for me. So definitely a great resource to have, you guys. Love it. So let's go to the next part. List passages that it is found in. So you can definitely use your strong concordance and pick out any of the verses that are listed here that use the word blessed. But for me, and I'm going to close that, you guys, and we're going to turn this over. At this point, to pick out some scriptures, you guys, I like to use this little beauty. This is the Nelson Biblical Cyclopedic Index. I like to use it because it also breaks down the word. For me, I like it how it breaks it down. I'm going to show you. And not all the time you can find the words in here. And that's okay. If I don't, then I pick verses out of the concordance. But I always look in here. So let's go to blessed. Let's see. So right here. And sometimes in this little beauty, you have word studies. As you can see, it has word studies. Here you have the word that we did use in the Greek. And then it gives you some more information on it. It gives you some verses on it. But right here is what I like the most about it. So here you can see blessed, the objects of God's favor. Then you have reasons for: they are chosen, believed, are forgiven, are justified, are instructed, keep God's word, times of eternal past, present, and eternal future. And those are the verses that I like to write down. And so when I do find the word here, I'll get my little handy dandy pen or marker holder. So you guys know I like using Sharpie. I use Sharpie for everything. I like using Sharpie pens for my journaling Bibles, but I also have these nice little mild liner highlighters that I recently got. I got these in a pack at Target, you guys, and I really like them. I do a lot of annotating with it. So you guys know that green is for my keywords, and it looks like I don't have my marker right here. Let me see if I moved it. Yes, so here it is. So I'm going to use this one. And you guys know for anything that's a word that I defined or anything like that, it is in green. And I try to keep that across everything that I do, you guys. That's verse mapping. That's even annotating words that I define. Anything like that, I put it in green so I know that I've already did some kind of study on it or anything, something like that. So, still in number 5, what I'm going to do is write this information down. And again, this is coming from the Nelson's Biblical Cyclopedic Index. And you guys can get this on christianbooks.com. I'm sure you can get it from Barnes and Noble, even Amazon. I will leave some links down below. Definitely in the blog, you guys, I try to list all the study materials that I use, so that way if you want to invest in some of the things that I use, so it's kind of easier for you to follow along. You definitely don't have to. It's always an option. But let's go ahead and write the information. So here we go. This is the last part of part 5, where you can list passages that it is found in. And again, you can use the strong concordance, go through the list and pick some out. But like I just shared, I like picking the ones, if it's listed here in the Nelson's Biblical Encyclopedic, because it also gives you some guidelines and purposes. So like you have the reasons for they are chosen, for they are, reason for they believe, are forgiven, are justified, are instructed, keep God's word. Part B is time of eternal past, present, and eternal future. So it kind of gives you some key verses. So I really like using this. So that's something that I use for number 5. And this is what it looks like. So I just write it. I actually write down the entire verse, you guys, here. I underline what the key point was. I have the scripture, and then anytime the word blessed is used, I underline it, because again, when I go back to color code it, that is already kind of draws my attention because I know it's underlined. So then here's the second part. So we're going to move on. And you guys, you don't have to choose all these verses like I did. You can pick 1 or 2. It's totally up to you. Remember, everything that I do is just a guide on pretty much how I study, as an option for you to try out and see what works and doesn't work for you. So number 6 is the root meaning. So again, remember I showed you guys on Google, when you use the Google dictionary, if you just scroll down off the definition, then you'll see the root meaning and origin. So let's look at it again. Okay, you guys, so remember when you looked in Google, you put in the word. When you go down the definition, this is the part for number 6, which is the origin and the root meaning, this is what you're going to put right here. So this is how I write it exactly.
All right, so here you guys can see number 6, you have the Old English blood, Old English Bledesian, not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but then it goes down to English, and what you can have here is Old English Bledesian, based on blood, originally perhaps mark on consecrate with blood. The meaning was influenced by being used to translate Latin benedicere, meaning to praise or worship, and later by association with bliss. So that is number 6, the root meaning and the origin. Now you're going to look at the biblical usage. How is it used in the Bible? So again, that part we're going to look back at Blue Letter Bible app. That is what I use. Definitely you can just summarize it out based off of what you've already learned, or you can definitely use this.
All right, so back here on Blue Letter Bible app, to get how the biblical usage, you guys, is the same thing. So you're at the part where it shows all the verses that use it. So we're going to use the first one, Genesis 1:22. You're going to hit the tools button. Oh, let's go back. Sorry, guys. All right, you hover over the tools button, then it's going to give you the side box. You're going to click interlinear. And then you're going to scroll down right here. Went too far. So here it broke down the verse for you. So here you have blessed them. So you're looking for blessed. So again, you're going to hit the Strong's number, H1288. You're going to scroll down, and right here it says the outline biblical usage. So that is what I am going to write. You can do some of them. You don't have to do all of them. Like you can do to bless, to kneel, blessed oneself, to cause, to kneel, to praise, salute, curse. So that way, because it breaks it down for you. Then you can go back and you can do both numbers that you had on for your Greek. So if you're going to do 3107, you can go back. And you're going to go back one more time. And then remember, you're going to go down so that you can get to the New Testament. Remember, we went to number 5. You're going to scroll down and you can do Matthew 5 and 3. So just hover over tools, the sidebar will pop up. You're going to hit interlinear. It is going to open the box for you. Here it is, blessed. You're going to click 3107. You're going to scroll down. And right here you have the biblical usage. So it says blessed and happy. Very simple. So on paper you can divide it Old Testament Hebrew, New Testament Greek, and then biblical usage. Let's jump over back to our paper.
All right. So number 7 here we have the biblical usage. So again, I said that you can use both numbers that you used, the 1288 for the Hebrew, 3107 for the Greek. And so I just divided it. So I have H, which is Hebrew, 1288, and Greek, 3107. So when we looked at it online, it said blessed and happy. And then this one is to blessed, kneel, bless oneself, to praise, salute, or curse. And that's it, you guys. That is for number 7. So now we're going to turn our page and we're at the final part of the word study. You guys comment down below what you guys think. Do you guys like the Do you like the walkthrough videos? Because I know sometimes it can be a little long. And of course, I try to keep the videos 30 minutes to 45 minutes long, no longer than that. But of course, when you're teaching, the walkthrough videos tend to be a little bit longer. So the final part of this word study is application evaluation. So you ask yourself, can you apply this word study to your relationship with God, in your life, in relationship with others, in your church, ministry, school, work, etc. So, of course, what I write is definitely not what you're going to write because, what God may speak to you through this word may not be the same as for me. Now, what I do want to share with you guys, for those of you who do have the same resources that I have, you guys know that I use all my resources. And I feel like purchasing things that I don't use or don't have a purpose for, then I'm wasting my money because it's just collecting dust in my on my shelf, which is something I don't want to do. So I live by this Life Application Study Bible. You can use any one. You can use any translation. Again, this one is in the NLT because when I was purchasing it, they were out of the King James Version, which I plan to get. Just because, I try to keep all my resources the same. But any Life Application Study Bible, definitely you can use. But I use this one. I really, really like this one. So what I do is I use the verses that we put on, here it is, guys. On number 5, the two books that we're studying. So we had Genesis 1:22 and Luke 1:28. And so what I do is I go here, and of course, because this is in chronological order, you guys, you have to use the index to kind of maneuver around because it's all intertwined. But Genesis 1:22, I go to and I try to see if there's any footnotes here, because again, the footnotes, you guys, is all about how to apply it to your daily life, and it also gives you questions sometimes you can ask yourself. So I don't see 1:22. So let's go over to Luke, which you guys know we did our verse map on Luke, which was amazing. So look out for that video. That will be coming up next. So here we have Luke, and it says 1:28. So we're going to look right here and see what it says. And it says, Mary was young, poor, and female, all characteristics that to the people of her day would make her seem unusable by God for any major task. But God chose Mary for one of the most important acts of obedience He has ever demanded of anyone. You may feel that your ability, experience, or education makes you an unlikely candidate for God's service. Don't limit God's choices. He can use you if you trust Him. So boom, that is what I would incorporate in my outcome. So I'm just going to write some of it, you guys, because again, this is the part where you meditate on the word. And sometimes, you guys, I don't write anything. If I don't know exactly what I want to write and I want to pray on it, you can definitely do that and allow God to speak to you about this word. So I'm going to put here, first I'm going to quote what it says. And I'm going to rephrase it so I can make it personal. I may feel that my ability, experience, or education makes me an unlikely candidate for God's service. Then I'm going to put an asterisk here. And I'm going to put here I'm going to put LASB, Life Application Study Bible, so I know where I got this from. And then I'm going to put an asterisk and put don't limit God's choices. He can use me if I trust him. Now, as you guys notice, I changed a lot of the yous in this from here. It made it personal and put I. And you guys, I always say that, especially when you're learning to pray the scriptures back to God, or when you're verse mapping, anything that has you, they, them, you in place it and make it for yourself, make it personal, because God loves it when you read back his word and you're making it personal. God, you said if I did this, you are going to bless me with this, you know. So then he knows that you are listening, that you are studying his word, and you're trying, you know, you're being faithful. So again, I can add more to this. So I may feel that my ability, experience, or education makes me an unlikely candidate for God's service. Don't limit God's choices. He can use me if I trust him. And so this is just a beginning part. And of course, you can go in more on, you know, you being blessed, God, you know, taking care of the littlest things. God will bless you more if he sees that you can manage the little things that he has blessed you with. You know, you never know when your blessings are going to come, when your prayers will be answered for certain things. So you use this to write out your feelings on anything that you have learned here. It calls you the acts of adoration. You're fortunate, well off, happy. You can read through the verses that was given, and then you can summarize what you got out of that as well. So that is the entire word study. So the final part that I do, you guys, which is the fun part, is now I go ahead and color code. So let's look at that. All right, so for me to color code, you guys, again, I get my faithful pen jar, and actually I think this is like a candle holder that I turned into a pen holder. And again, I like using the midline liner highlighters, you guys. That's something new that I had tried, that I saw our sister group founder, Denise, she uses those, but I really, really love Sharpie, you guys. Sharpie is my best friend. So the first thing I do, you guys, the way I color code, of course, green goes for the word. That's the word that we are studying. Now you can use the thicker side to highlight it, or the thinner side to underline it. So at this point, I like to use the thinner one. So what I do is I just go over the word and underline it. And then I go through and I just underline all the words of blessed. So that will be on this side. So I'll put blessed, 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 blessed. Oh, this says blessedness. Blessed, 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 blessed. And you can have any type of color code system that works for you. You don't have to use the same one that I do, but this is what works for me. All right, so that's that. So that is in green. Then the next thing that I grab is blue. You guys know that blue is all my scripture references. So when I do that, I'm going to use it for Genesis 1:22 and Luke. And I just go over it. So this way when I go back and I want to reference this word study, it'll automatically pop out to me the scripture references. Alright, you guys, so that is how my color code looks once it's completed. I didn't want to do it all step by step in the video, but green is anything pertaining to the definitions, the words that were defined. Yellow, orange is for the strong numbers. Purple is for the anonym and synonyms. The darker orange is for red orange. It's for the answers in number 5. Anything in blue is a scripture reference. Then I also have pink for key points. So this is everything when I wrote out the scriptures, the reasoning for it. Blessed is always underlined in green because that is what the word study is. Again, the verses are in blue. I underlined this in like a hot pinkish color so that way it stands out for the origin. And then again, the Strong's numbers in the yellow, orange, and then that's it. So that is what it looks like, guys, once it's complete. Again, you can format it any way that you like. You can use bubbles, boxes. I have done quite a few in different formats, but I also do like this way a lot. So again, that's what it looks like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to give the video a thumbs up, you guys, if you enjoyed it. And definitely share it with your friends, family, anybody that you may feel may benefit. Again, the way I do word studies may not be the same that you have came across on YouTube or Pinterest or any other resources online. But again, you can take them all, combine them together and create your own. But for me, this is what works for me. This is how I learned the best, and I love following this format. So again, you guys, leave any comments, questions, or anything down below. Definitely let me know if this is something that you guys enjoy. Videos will be up every Wednesday for the word study. It was delayed this week because my son was sick, so I apologize for that. I am catching up on videos, so definitely I will be overwhelming you guys with videos this weekend between Friday and Sunday. So hopefully next week will run smoothly. So until next time, you guys, enjoy and have a blessed day. Bye.